Hey everybody, how you doing? This is about to be a really fun video. Now, every time I pick something up new, I bring you guys along with me. Here's the play-by-play what happened this time. So this past Saturday, we hung out at Tolliver's. We had an all-day party. It was their 50th anniversary party. They had awesome deals on all kinds of stuff. A bunch of you guys came and hang out, and it was an awesome time on Saturday, this past Saturday, down at Tolliver's. Well, shortly after I walk in the door, let me fix this camera here. Shortly after I walk in the door, my buddy John, who works there, saying hey to him as he's walking by. And I said, John, I'm just here to hang out and have a good time. Don't be trying to sell me something. Because he knows if anything cool comes in, he'll let me know. Because I've had him looking for me for a 220 Swift for the longest time. And he found me one, and I appreciate it. And now we got videos coming out on 220 Swift. We got a bunch more coming soon. Shout out to John. But he's like, oh, yes, yeah, man. We're both kind of laughing. I said, I'm not picking anything up today, joking, Well, I don't know. Middle of the day, he comes out, and he said, man, I got to show you this. It's so cool. And this is what he showed me. Let me kind of key this up a bit. Heaviest barrel I've ever seen in my life, with the exception of my Barrett 50 BMG. Longest barrel I have ever had, with the exception of my Barrett 50 BMG. Yeah. How heavy is this thing? It's a Savage. I'm looking on their website. Weight is 13.3 pounds. So that's also the heaviest I've ever had, with the exception of my 50 BMG. And it's also in a cartridge. That's why I bought it. It's in a cartridge that I've never had. It's my goal to have videos on literally everything. Bring you guys along with my journey of learning all this stuff. We're going to do a bunch of videos with this. But I'm going to show you. Look at this. Look at how long the barrel is on this thing. Just for sake of example, let me grab this thing right here. This right here is my Fancy Pants Model 70. I got it out last night to show my dad. This is my Fancy Pants Model 70. It has a long barrel on it, 26-inch barrel. And look how much longer this one is. That's pretty wild. So, let me show you this thing. I'm going to have to back up just to get it all in the screen. So, what this is, before I show it to you, this is a Savage Model 12 F-Class. Let me show you this thing. Look at that stock. Big, ridiculous, flat-bottom stock on it. And I got this secondhand used, so I got a better deal on it than I would have new. Shout out to Tolliver's. But a little bit about this. It has Savage's target action. It has Savage's, what they call the target AccuTrigger, which is adjustable down to 6 ounces. They had a trigger gauge there at Tolliver's and we tested it. This one's set to about 1.5 pounds. That's pretty light, 1.5 pounds, but you know what? I'm probably going to have to adjust it down to 6 ounces. It adjusts that low, we're going to adjust it that low. But just off the website, let me read you a couple things about this, and we'll talk about it a little bit more. I'm super excited to get this out to the range. I already got a scope for it. It says, Savage's 12 F-Class meets a Bing Bang specifically designed for how you compete. Talking about F-Class competition. The 12 F-Class delivers unparalleled accuracy, thanks to user-adjustable target AccuTrigger, which allows you to fine-tune trigger pull from 6 ounces to 2.5 pounds. The 30-inch full-profile barrel. So this is literally full-profile barrel. How cool is that? It's button-rifled and perfectly balanced with a wood laminate stock. Includes oversized bolt handle with a single-shot target action. So, if there was ever a precision Blue Light Slinger, this would be it. And they make this in 2 different calibers. 6 Norma BR. I assume BR stands for bench rest. And then what this is, which is a 6.5 by 284. Now, 6.5, so you can use the same projectiles as 6.5 Creedmoor, 6.5 PRC. What's the newest 6.5 I just got? I can't even remember. I don't know. But, pretty cool. And now, whoever traded it in also traded in some ammo, luckily. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to go up to the range for quite a while until I got some in the mail. And I got some of this right here, like a box and some change. So you can see here, 6.5 by 285 Norma, and these are loaded with 140 grain hollow point bow tails. And the box on these says the velocity is 2750. And I think we're going to get a little bit faster than that because we got that 30-inch barrel. Now you might be saying, 2750? Like, why don't you just get a 6.5 Creedmoor? Well, that is a valid point, but let me get a 6.5 Creedmoor and a 6.5 PRC just to show you and compare them, and I'll be right back. Now, if you look here on my desk, this one on the left is the one that I just picked up. The 6.5 by 284 Norma. The one in the center, that's a 6.5 Creedmoor. And then this one on the right is a 6.5 PRC. And if you look at the cases, the 6.5 PRC and the 6.5 284 Norma, the case capacity is almost identical, with the 6.5 PRC holding just a tad bit more as far as case capacity goes, but case length, if you look, is longer. As I mess everything up, the case is longer for the 6.5 by 284, just by a shade. But both of those kind of overtower the 6.5 Creedmoor in all the numbers. So, again, I'm not an expert on 6.5 by 284 by any means. I'm working towards it. With my own knowledge, we're going to do loading and all this stuff. But if you look at the box numbers, the 6.5 PRC is faster than the 6.5 by 284 Norma. Now, there's a bunch of numbers we can talk about, recoil and so on and so forth. But all the articles that I've stayed up late and read to educate myself on everything I can know about 6.5 by 284 is a lot of the bench rest guys have been using this for a long time because of its lower recoil, high BC 6.5 bullets, and flat trajectory out to 1,000 yards. That's literally why Savage makes this thing. The Savage Model 12 in essentially an F-class bench rest rig in that chambering, 6.5 by 284 Norma. There's a lot of articles out there that call the 6.5 by 284 the most optimum deer hunting cartridge. Those articles are now a little bit dated because we have newer things like the 6.5 PRC that kind of that's the 6.5 Creedmoor. I grabbed the wrong one. They kind of make the 6.5 by 284 obsolete. Again, I'm not an expert on it yet, but I'm working towards learning more about it and getting my own knowledge on it. For example, this box, I think I already told you, only 2,750 feet per second. Everybody says, all the F-class bench rest guys say, that's weak sauce. Oh yeah, there's lots of extra room in there. Where guys say you can push these an extra 200 feet per second safely. No problem. But, hey, bringing you guys along with me, like I said, everything that I'm doing. Somebody traded this in, and I guess said they just didn't use it that much. They've already got a rail on it, so I'm going to retorque all that, bubble level on it. Now I've got to figure out a way. That's a pretty wide front. Figure out a way to either get a F-class bipod, whatever they use, or maybe just use sandbags to start with for a front rest. But super excited to get this thing to the range. Also, if you look at those F-class guys, a lot of them use some Mondo scopes. I mean, we're talking about precision groups at 1,000 yards. These guys get groups like that big at 1,000 yards. You got to have a pretty good Mondo scope to make sure you're holding the exact same spot every time you break that real light trigger. So, check this out, what I just got for this. Which actually, I got the scope before I got this Bulot slinger, and wondering what I was going to put the scope on. I got the rings in my hand. So, 34 millimeter Arkin rings. And a bunch of you guys have been asking me this. Too many people asked me about this than I could count. This is the brand new Arkin that was just released. It's the EP5 Gen 2 7-35 by 56. And this, assuming it all fits right, which I don't see why it shouldn't, is the big Mondo scope with lots of zoomies that I'm going to put on this F-class rig in 6.5 by 284. So stay tuned. This thing's going to be a whole lot of fun. If you got some knowledge on the 6.5 by 284, definitely drop it in the comments down below. I'm always looking to learn from people, get the shortcuts on the knowledge. And I'm definitely looking for the dies now so that I can reload it. I got like a box and a third of brass, and I'm going to be picking up. I've never hardly ever see this stuff in the store, but there's tons of it online. There's like 10 to 15 factory loadings, even with hunting bulots. Might be cool to take an elk or something with this. I got an elk tag this year. But, hey, maybe that might actually be a fantastic idea. Comment down below if you want to see that elk hunt with this. But, hey, appreciate y'all watching. Always bringing you guys along with everything I'm doing. I'm going to have this to the range real soon, so stay tuned for that video. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of testing on this thing. I'm going to quit rambling. If you can't tell, I'm super excited. Everything new I get excited about. What I'll be even super more excited about, if we get like same hole groups with that thing, we ought to be able to do it. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you guys on the next one. Hooty-hoo!